Hello, this is Annette with Project Refine Life. Welcome to my channel. Today I am here to do a walkthrough of the Lilifer Tarot. The Lilifer Tarot is created by artist and author Marian Constantin, who is also known as Little Darkness online. You can find her at little-darkness.com, and she sells on Etsy as well as direct through her shop. Little Darkness is the creator of the Reclaim Oracle. Now, I have a full walkthrough of this deck, and I just cannot say enough about how wonderful this deck is to work with. So when I saw her come up with this deck in the works, I was more than willing to back her Kickstarter. So it was fully funded on Kickstarter in November of 2021. This, as she states on her website, which makes me hopeful for more, because she states this is the first tarot deck to be published by Little Darkness. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, if you have more, please give us more. But let me tell you something, this deck is so full, it's so rich, that I am just going to be blown away with anything else she comes up with. So let me get to some of the information about this deck. She states that this deck is a hybrid, and the inspiration for this deck comes from the Marseille, early tarot decks, the occult, and her own magical practice. The deck is a total of 60 cards, 22 majors, 56 minors, and 2 exclusive cards. I am always very grateful when a creator provides some specifications for me in regard to the deck so that I can explain it more thoroughly to you guys. So it comes in this sleeve, and then inside the sleeve is this nice tuck box, which when you open it, look at, hello, I love that. That is so cute. But it is a matte lamination, 350 GSM. It comes with this little booklet, which is 56 pages. It comes with this little paper clips on the side. It states that it's saddle stitch binding, but these are definitely just staples here. But that's okay. It's printed. She's very concerned with our resources. So it is printed on FSC certified paper stock with eco-friendly soy-based inks. And it is 100% plastic-free packaging. It did come in a box and then wrapped within this tissue paper, and this, there was no plastic on it anywhere. It was very well packaged. I really appreciate when a creator can just take the time to do that. Like, I don't need a little plastic wrap on my deck. Just send it to me. Forget the plastic. So now, as you can see, very nice cardstock. It's sturdy but not stiff. It feels soft and silky, but it's not a rose petal finish. It's beautiful, very nice. Okay, let's take a quick look at the guidebook. The guidebook comes in this form of this little white booklet. It has staples to keep it together. Now, the guidebook is imperative for getting your full reading out of this deck. I know that a lot of people are very intuitive readers, and that's beautiful, but there's so much symbology within this deck that I really do suggest going through this guidebook to put the deck together in sorts, just to make it a deeper understanding for you. She has this foreword, which I also suggest reading because it gives you an idea of where she's at and her idea of how to read the deck. She has the symbols, which are the 4 elements. She has the elemental dignities. She has the zodiacs. All the signs are listed here. She describes the planet, the element, the gifts, the body, the herbs, and the stones for each one. She also has the planetary symbols, the sacred principles, female and masculine principles, these sacred colors, the sacred numbers, and sacred symbols. She also describes the sacred creatures that you will again encounter within this deck. She has 4 original spreads and then goes into the description in both an upright and reversal meanings. Through the major arcana, she provides the element, the stone, the herb, and the affirmation. The minors don't get as detailed. They don't have the other description, but they do have the upright and the reversal meanings on each card. Nice little guidebook. I really suggest you look at it before working with the deck if you want to get everything that this deck has to offer out of your readings. Now, she states, if you have an interest in witchcraft, astrology, ritual work, shadow work, symbolism, or the occult, this deck is for you. It is filled with loving wisdom and reverence for the invisible. A few things that you should know. The structure of the Lilifer borrows from the Tarot de Marseille. Therefore, Justice is the 8th card, while Strength is the 11th. She also states, because I am also fond of the Waite-Smith Tarot, you will notice that the pip cards are evocative and seem to tell a story rather than relying solely on esoteric numerology. Kings and queens. In the Lilifer, the queen sits atop of each suit. This choice symbolizes needed departure from the patriarchal organization of our society and is meant to invite a return to balance. I composed the booklet in a similar fashion to that of an early tarot deck. Instead of elaborating on the meaning of each card, I'm giving you keywords and pointers to prompt your own interpretations. Let's do a flip through of the deck, and let me just show you very briefly the backs, because the backs are just pure magic. Beautiful. So now if you're looking at the back, you're going to say that there is, you're going to see that there's obviously a difference between the top and the bottom. But seriously, I mean, it's a very busy deck. If you're busy shuffling and you're doing reversals, unless you're really looking at the back, I don't see how you would be interrupted in your reading by reading a reversal. And I don't know, I just don't see that that would really get in the way of it. So let's go ahead and get into the flip through. Marian has such a unique way of expressing meaning through her art. I mean, I am always blown away when I use the Reclaim Oracle because although the guidebook is deep, even with just a few words that she states, the art is so expressive. She just encourages you to dig in to the meanings just based on the art, like looking at all these symbols, their faces, the shapes, what they're holding inside. She did it again with this tarot deck, similar to what she did within the Reclaim Oracle. Like there is so much going on. Look at his face. You can see within the face what they're thinking. Now, I am going to just give you a little clue here. Now, for the queens, you'll just look for the little Q. For the kings, you'll look for the K. For the knights, you're going to look for the elemental sign of fire. And then for the page, you're going to look for the elemental sign of earth. And this is the pentacles with the little circle there. This deck is just truly amazing. She really does encourage you to dig in to the symbolism and the art, to just explore the deck, to get all these meanings out of the deck. And you know, I haven't worked with this deck so far. I just got it a couple of days ago, and I've really just been sitting with it, going through it card by card. I haven't even shuffled it yet, and I don't think I'm ready to at this time. I really need to take some time with this deck. You know, with the Reclaim Oracle, I know that a lot of people found some things triggering, but I have to say that I find her work very gentle, very thought-provoking, and very empowering. And I can see this guy here. I mean, I can see here again where you are going to get some of that same feeling out of this deck, even though you're dealing with a tarot. She does such an amazing job. I am just so impressed by her work. All the illustrations are hand-painted watercolors. And I just find this deck to be so deep and true to her own unique style. It just takes on a different aspect of the tarot, as well as her own personal practices. You know, just looking at it so far, like I said, I haven't worked with it, but just looking at it so far, with the layers that she has from all of her knowledge of the tarot, plus her own personal practice, I don't find it to be constrictive. It's not limiting, and I like when a deck gives you those options. You could, of course, just bust this deck open and start working with it as you would any other tarot deck. If you know the basic meaning of each card, of course you could. But there was what was it? The Glow Wood Oracle. That was another deck that I found that you could really take it layer by layer. You could keep it as surface level as you want, and then you can just stack on the layers. It is the same thing with this tarot deck. You can just take it layer by layer. If you just want to work with the elemental energy and then the meaning of the cards, then you can do that. And then you can take it in with the astrological signs, the colors. I mean, you can just keep going. You can have such a deep reading with probably just one card from this deck. Oh, look at that. That is just freaking gorgeous. I can't even get over how beautiful I think her art is. Now, I'm a yoga teacher, and with my yoga, somebody was in my class yesterday, as a matter of fact, and she asked me, she was new to my class, and she says, "What type of yoga is this?" And I described to her, I said, listen, it's based on vinyasa, but I have all these other credentials for other styles of yoga, and I didn't want to get into it in that particular class. But on top of that, you know, they don't know it, but I have all these other teachings, all these other personal practices that are in the mix. So sometimes I have them doing things, pushing energy around, and they don't even understand it. They feel great at the end of a class, but I don't want to constrict my yoga to one particular style, because then it's stuck in a box. I want to be able to shift and move with the feeling of the class and give them what they need at that particular time. This deck does the same thing. Like in my class, I'm there as a guide. They do what feels right for them in that moment. And this deck gives you that same option. The guidebook is the same. It's a guide to guide you on your practice. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, but you can allow yourself to just go further into your readings with this deck. I am just blown away. I like I said, I don't even want to shuffle it yet, because I really do kind of want to go through and maybe journal a little bit about it. She really does encourage you to, as she stated, like, take your own life's journey, your own life's pain and sorrow and experiences, and kind of make it part of the reading by adding in these layers to the deck, to the reading. There's one thing that she stated here and then on the guidebook, and I just want to quote it because it was so deep to me. She says, "We are bound to disagree," in reference to the guidebook. "We are bound to disagree because we are all different. Different stories, different scars." Guys, I am so in love with this deck already, and I haven't even officially broke it open to work with it yet. But just going through it all, I'm blown away. Okay, so of course, I'm going to pair this up with the Reclaim. I do have a couple of other oracles in mind, but I haven't even tried that yet. I am on my only 40 days for Lent thing, but I just wanted to take these out just so that you could see them side by side. You guys, this is going to be such an amazing reading. If you have the Reclaim, you know, this is the first edition, but I did order the second as well. And I don't regret it at all to have both editions of her deck. Her work is amazing. Her depth is amazing. I see so many things here. And, you know, this pose right here, that is a yoga pose right there. So there's another layer. Like for me, that's another layer that I can add into my reading. There's just so much, like just looking at all this symbology. And then also on the deck, now I believe she was born in France, but she lives in California. Now on the inside of this tuck box, I don't know if I showed you guys, look at this tuck box. How gorgeous is this tuck box? But see all these sacred hearts right here? Well, that's a calling to me. And I think that's part of her being in California. I don't know if I'm reading that wrong or not, but that's a calling to me. And for me, again, it layers something else into the deck. And they're scattered throughout the deck. I don't know. I'm amazed. I'm amazed at her depth, at her layers of knowledge that she has poured into this deck. I can feel it. I mean, you can just feel the energy off this deck. I am truly, truly impressed with her work. I really do like her work. Now, she did offer this tarot altar cloth that is pretty darn amazing. And I am so sad that I did not buy the altar cloth, but I really should have bought the cloth. I did send her a message asking if she was going to be releasing any more. I really hope that she does, because on the altar cloth, it is this wheel It gives you all the planetary, why can't I say that today? Planetary, it gives you all the zodiacs, tarot and zodiac correspondence, numerology, the major arcana themes, the 4 elements, the moon phases, everything is around this tarot cloth. So if you do get this deck and she comes up with this cloth again, it might be something to consider buying, because it would really help while you're reading the deck to assist with the depth of the deck. Guys, you know what? I could keep on going on and on about this deck, but I think you guys get the feeling of what I am trying to say about this deck. I am just in love with it. I mean, look at the art. It is so expressive. There's just so much going on. There's so many ways to take this. I am just in love with her work. Truly, truly in love with her work. I cannot say how much this deck, I can see how imperative this deck is going to become within my collection. And any other work that she puts out, again, this is just like my feeling with the Gentle Tarot. I'm up for it. I want anything she puts together. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. She does still have stock available. So if you are interested in obtaining the deck for yourself, I will of course put her links in the description box below. Once again, I thank you so much for taking the time to take a look at the walkthrough and listen to me ramble on. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day from my heart to yours. See you later.